Let me just say, the book that's called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I read that book before it became popular. Guys, okay, so what I decided to do was to break these videos up into different sections so that way you're not sitting in a 2-hour long video or something crazy like that. So we're gonna take a few minutes here and just go through my bronzers and my highlighters and my blushes and my powders and my foundations, and then I'm going to also break it up into another section where we do brushes, and then I might do my nail polishes, and then we'll just wrap it all up with a video at the end that will go over my palettes. This is going to be called Declutter Week. I'm excited to be doing a little makeup inventory, and I would just like to kind of remind people that to some people this may seem like a really large collection, and to other people this may seem like a small collection, so just keep that in mind. This is also kind of focusing on the KonMari Method. My whole concept or premise behind this video series is to keep what brings me joy. And let me just say that makeup brings me joy, so decluttering is probably not going to be my strongest suit, though I don't feel like that I keep a lot of things that are unnecessary. I'm not going to go through every single step, but this is like the section that I'll be going over is just like my entire makeup collection. So the KonMari Method, founded by Marie Kondo, is a Japanese method, I believe, and she's got a really neat page that I'll link down below that has everything that there is to know about the KonMari Method. Marie Kondo is a Japanese girl that started a method called the KonMari Method, and it's pretty neat. Mostly it's about keeping things that bring you joy or happiness or that are extremely useful rather than having hordes of things. And I do not really consider myself to be a makeup hoarder, but I consider myself to be a makeup enthusiast, so I probably have maybe more than the average girl. I'm really not sure, but let me just say, the book that's called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I read that book before it became popular, and so this is something that I've had in my life for years. Way before the Netflix series, and it's funny to see this series come back out on Netflix and people just talking all about it and it becoming like a new wave, and I'm like, yeah, but I have been doing this all of my life, so anyway, it just kind of cracks me up. So I hope that you will join me for the rest of these videos, and let's get started. I'm going to be going through my blushes, my bronzers, and my highlighters. The things that I'm keeping, I'm going to have in my little organizer over here that I got from Target. And then over here is the stuff that I'm going to be getting rid of. Starting at the very top, we have my Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in apricot in the middle, and of course I've been painting this. I'm keeping this. This is probably my favorite blush ever. It's something that I use on the reg. Another thing here is my Milani. This is in Luminoso, and it's a really pretty blush. It's brighter than the Wet n Wild one. It's a bit peachier. I'm going to be keeping it. I haven't used it a whole lot, and I do enjoy it in the summertime. Next we have this Balm Springs blush, and it is, I'm going to set this down. It looks like this. Got it from a friend that got it in an Ipsy box, and I've used it some, but to be honest, I think I'm going to be getting rid of this one because it's not really the best color on me. I think it pulls a little too cool, and it's just not something I find myself reaching for. Unfortunately, this one is going to go. Then I've got my NARS blush. This is actually a birthday perk from Ulta. Orgasm. It's probably one of the biggest blushes in the whole industry. It's like a really well-known blush color, and it's very pretty. So I'm going to be keeping it. Next, I've got my bronzers. So these are the 3 bronzers that I have. I don't have a ton. I use them all. This one I use when I'm not too tan. Oh look, you can see me. This one I use when I'm not super tan, and it's very dense, almost wet formula, I want to call it. It's just super packed, like super hard, and when I put my finger down, you can tell that it did pick up some product, but on my skin, it's very light, so that's why I use a heavy hand with it anytime I use it, and it does definitely show up, but it shows up on very fair skin. This one is great for summertime. I love putting it around the perimeters of my face and just using it to warm up my cheeks, and it's a very nice bronzer, as you can see here. That also, I'm going to try to swatch it. Hey, you can see that one. And it shows up very well, and I use it, like I said, in the summer. And then this one, it's my darkest bronzer, and I think that it's a really nice bronzer. It's, look at how dark it is, and I will try to swatch it as well. And you can see the differences. This one's a lot warmer. If I can get it to focus. Hello? This one is a lot warmer than this one, and so I think keeping all of them because they all have a place in my collection. And then I've got my highlighters here. This one is my Master Chrome highlighter, my first highlighter ever. It's a very bright, reflective highlighter, and I do enjoy it, but my goodness, look at that. Just look at it. I will swatch it. See that? It's very pretty. I have not been using it, but maybe I'll pull it out a little more this summer and play with it. This collection here is the Becca Macaroon collection. It's a very nice collection. I will open them all up actually, so that way we get an idea of what we're playing with. Okay, there we go. I've got Prismatic Amethyst, Rose Quartz, I've got Vanilla Quartz, and I have Opal. And I like them all. I especially like this one, and I especially like this one. This one I feel is very similar in shade to this one, although I'm not sure which of the two I like more because they are fairly similar. I think they just each have their own place. This one has a little bit of a purple shift to it. It's beautiful. I love that. This one is very pasty white on my skin. I'm not a fan. I'll swatch it. So you can tell they all have their own kind of look to them, but I think that Opal, the one on the far left, is my favorite. It just seems to make my skin glow, whereas the other ones are they just sit on my skin, but this one is definitely my favorite and most used right now. I'm keeping all of them. It's a little collection. I cannot get rid of a single one of them. Not doing it. So this was not too successful of a declutter, but you were still able to kind of see my collection, see my inventory, and get a good idea of what I have. In the next part of this video, I'm going to be talking about going over my foundations, my powders, and my base products, like my primers and that kind of thing. So I'm going to set you down. Let's go over the primers first. So this is actually not a primer, but I put it on in the summertime before I put on my makeup and after I put on my moisturizer. So I think it's a really good idea to use sunscreen and especially protect the face. This sunscreen, it's got titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. So this is a really ideal sunscreen in my opinion. I love CeraVe brand, and I think that this is and it also says invisible zinc. I definitely agree that it's invisible. It does not leave such a white cast on my skin, whereas a lot of other sunscreens do, and that causes a problem. So I think this is a great product to put under your makeup. Obviously I'm keeping. Okay, Milk Makeup. I love this Hydro Grip Primer. I have spoke about it in my favorites, and I think that it is a very good product, and it's perfect for summer. It's green, but it goes on clear and does not leave a weird shade underneath any of my makeup. Tatcha. This was a little sample, a little trial mini size, and I've used a lot of it, as you can see, about half of it, although it's a very small product anyway. Yeah, I'm not as impressed with it. I thought it was kind of nice. It kind of smells alright. It's kind of it's treated like skincare. It's a skincare primer type thing. I think that it's okay, but I'm definitely not going to repurchase it. I'm going to use this up and then move on to trying other primers. And I use this little spatula thing, by the way, from a Kinder Egg to measure kind of how much I like to scrape onto my, or scrape off of this and put onto my face. So I use this in moisturizers too when I don't want to dip my fingers straight into it. Germaphobe problem. And then I've got this Tarte Radiance Drops. Listen, I do not use this. I'm decluttering this because I do not use this. I keep forgetting about it, and I just don't think that it's necessary. It's like an extra step in my routine, and it's just not necessary. Foundations. This is fairly newer to my collection, probably the newest foundation, although I've had it for quite some time. It's Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. I think it's beautiful. I have this in the color LN4, and I think that it's beautiful. Like, it is a really nice product. It's a matte finish, and it doesn't have any luminous properties to it. I think it's just a very nice foundation. Now, I will say that it smells. It has a scent to it that's pretty powerful, and I don't mind it too much, but it's a very chemical smell, and as ironic as that is because it says healthy, but it has similar ingredients that any other foundation has in it, and it's a very good foundation on the market. It wears really well, and it's just a very good foundation. Then I've got my Flower Beauty Light Illusion. I did a review on this, and I think that it's a very good foundation. I also like it for summertime because it's got a luminous finish, and it's kind of dewy, and it's a good product. It breaks down a little bit on my nose and kind of looks funny on my forehead, so I don't use a lot on my forehead, but I think that it's a good product. The color is a nice color on me, L3. So it's light 3, and it looks good on my skin. And then this is the Wet n Wild Cushion Foundation, which I am also keeping. This is a good travel foundation, and this is in the shade 106A Nude Beige. It's a good foundation. That's about all I got to say for it. Now, in terms of my powders, I've got Sabella. This is my favorite loose powder, translucent powder, and look at how much I still have of it. I've had this powder for ages, and it's still going strong. It still smells good. It's still a wonderful powder, and I love it. It's my favorite powder. Then I've got my this is a repurposed container. I actually have this RCMA powder in this compact, and I like it because it has this nice little like lid to it, and it's fairly travel friendly. I do enjoy this. This is an awfully lot of powder. It takes me a long time to use powder, and so I've considered getting rid of this, but if I end up doing other people's makeup, then I definitely would get a lot of use out of the RCMA no color powder. So I'm going to hold on to it for now. Now this is more like foundation powder. This is a loose foundation powder. It's my mineral foundation powder, and I think that it's a good powder. I use it when I want a light base makeup day and I don't want to have a lot of foundation. I just don't want to fuss too much with it. I use it with my kabuki brush here, and I think that it is a good combo here. And then this is my Milani Pressed Foundation Conceal and Perfect powder. It's okay. I'm going to use it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to commit to trying to finish it because it's just kind of not my favorite right now. And then this little thing is old and messed up. I'm throwing this away. Next, I'm going through my concealers, my mascaras, and my eyeliners, and my brow pencil. I keep them all in this little container that I got from Target. It's a pencil holder, basically. I like it a lot because it's so cute. It's like so pink and bright and happy and a bit lacy, and I love it. So, put this thing back down. Of course, I'm keeping my only eyebrow pencil. It's in the shade 4.5, and it is a very nice brow pencil, and it doesn't pull too warm. It's fairly gray. It's a really good match for me. I am keeping my liquid e.l.f. eyeliner and my Mega Last retractable eyeliner. These are used on the daily. Now these two, this is a Stila eyeliner. These are both the same thing actually, and I bought one of them thinking it was going to be like a dark blue. It wasn't. It was actually a mess up on Hautelook's. Hautelook has a website and you can buy makeup online, and it was just messed up because it was marketed as one thing and it ended up not being that. And then I told customer service about it, and hopefully they got it fixed, because they ended up trying to send me the right thing and just sent me the same thing again. So I'm getting rid of this one, and I'm going to be keeping this one. I don't hardly use it, but it's kind of fun, and maybe I'll try and find other ways to use it. Next are my concealers. I've got Wet n Wild. This is in Light Ivory, and it's a good shade match. It's lighter than my skin tone, but not by a ton. This one is my Maybelline Age Rewind. I'm going to try to pan this. It's almost done. I can't really stand the packaging, and once it's done, I will not be repurchasing it. It pulls a bit too yellow on my skin, and it just looks kind of funny, so once I use it up, I'll be happy to have it out. And then this is my ColourPop No Filter Concealer, which I think is a perfect shade match. It does brighten my under eyes, and it's the right kind of thickness that I think that it does the job well. So, keeping all of those. Now, these are my mascaras. Granted, the only two that are open that I use are these two. This is the Monsieur Big Mascara by Lancome, and I think that it's a good mascara. It's actually really wet. A really wet formula, so that's something I'm getting used to, and I think it'll last me a long time because it's something that I don't have to worry about drying out because it's so wet. This one I've had for probably too long, but I love it, and I think that it's just my favorite mascara, and I have a backup here which I'm going to be keeping because, well, it's my favorite mascara. These are other mini deluxe sizes basically, and this is Lancome, and then I've got two Clinique mascaras that are, I don't know how they are yet, I haven't tried them, and then another Lancome. Wow, I've got a lot of Lancome mascaras, I didn't realize. But I'm going to be keeping all of them because when I use up those in this thing, I'm going to break into these. So obviously I don't need to be buying any more mascaras. We're on to the sprays here. These two are my facial sprays. So I have Mario Badescu and MAC Fix Plus. I've used a lot of this one, and I have just recently purchased this, but I've still already started using a significant amount. So I love both of these. Obviously, I don't know if it's obvious to you or not, but I'm keeping both of these for sure. Then I've got this Hello Beautiful. This is a fragrance. It is more of a bath mist. So every time I get out of the shower, I spray this on, and what's funny is I've used this, like, I don't know if you can tell, but there's still so much, but I've used it. I've had this for like 2 years probably, and I use it almost every time I get out of the shower, 1 or 2 sprays, and it's still, like, looks like I haven't used it at all. So this is literally gonna last me a lifetime. I still love the smell of it, and I plan on keeping this. These are my perfumes. This I got at Aerie. It's not super florally, flowery. It's more got like a little, yeah, I'm horrible at describing this kind of stuff, so just, it's this, okay? And then I got Physicians Formula Butter Paradise. I've clearly used a good bit of this, and I started pairing it with this stuff. Whoops. These are my, and by the way, this one is empty. I don't know why it's still here, so I'm getting rid of that. So this is a Kate Spade sample. These two are Michael Kors samples, and I think I'm going to get rid of this one because I don't really prefer it. It's kind of too strong for my liking. But I do like this one. It's nice. I'm going to try to use this one up. Let's pair it with this. So once I use up these samples, I'll probably just start focusing really hard on this and seeing if I can maybe use it up. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll mix it with this. We'll see. We'll see what I do. But anyway, basically I got rid of 2 things. Let's talk about eyeshadow primers. I'm keeping all of them. This is my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. This is my Shadow Insurance. This is my glitter glue that I use literally almost every single time I apply eyeshadow. And this is a Lorac eyeshadow primer that came with my Lorac palette. And I have not opened it, but I think that if I were to ever run out of this, I might open this and use it. I think it's just, I just want to keep it. I kind of want to try it out. I don't really want to open it, but I do want to try it out. So I'm going to keep it in my like backup drawer. I'm going to keep around like these kind of things, samples, because I do, and it's really bad. I gotta do something here because it's really driving me nuts. I have opened one of them. I think I opened this one. Yeah, I did. And it's just like dried out, and I don't even know if that's the real formula anymore. You know what I mean? Getting rid of that. This was an old sample, Cover FX drops. Like, it's just inconvenient. I'm getting rid of it. These are hydrating cleansers. Sure, I'll use them once, use them up. This is Evolution. This is a hair serum. I'm gonna keep it I'm gonna put it in my bathroom. This was something that I dried my face off with. It was just a cute little card, and it's way expired, but I still had used it to dry my face when I would put facial sprays on. But I have a fan for that now, so let's throw that away. This is an apricot scrub that I'm getting rid of because I heard that the little beads in it can kind of mess up the surface of your face and kind of cut your face. Your face is very delicate, so I kind of don't want to do that. These three things are things that I actually used up, and I wanted to mention it because using things up is a big deal. Then I got eyelashes, which I think are too natural. They're not big enough. They almost don't make my eyes any bigger, just barely. But I want something that's a little less natural, but not something that's too noticeable. I wanted to mention I used up this vanilla pumpkin candle from Target, and I really liked it. Used the entire thing. This is a big candle. I liked it a lot. I thought it was maybe almost too scented, but I thought it was a good scent, and I don't know that I would repurchase this scent, but I would buy another one from this brand. I will be talking about my palettes, but I'm going to do that in a different kind of video. I think I'm going to do it there at my desk. By the way, that's my desk. This is my filming space. And kind of just talk about my palettes to you face to face because I would like to go through those. Last thing that I want to talk about is my sponges. I've got a lot of sponges here. I've been trying different ones, and so I kept this beauty blender container for travel so I can just throw it in there. It's got holes. It's got a hole in the bottom here, and I believe it's got a hole in the top. So it does have air, and I just like it because it keeps my little blender sanitary, I feel like, and doesn't roll around and get like dirty. So obviously I still love my beauty blender, still have it. This is an AOA sponge that I bought with the pink brushes here, and I'm going to be keeping it. It blows up so big. I love it though. This is also my little sponge holder, and I love it because it just is perfect, and I can just throw this, in there, and it dries and stuff. So, by the way, this is the sponge. It's a Kala sponge, and I loved it, but it's starting to get really old, and it's kind of breaking, but it's time for this to go. So getting rid of that. This is also a very old sponge. I loved it though. It's very hard though. It's my first sponge, and I didn't realize how hard it was, and it's bad. I don't like that. And then this is a little face sponge. It's like a mini. It's very small, but it's also hard. It doesn't, when I wet it, it doesn't get any bigger. And then this is my Real Technique sponge. Love it. So I'm going to be keeping 3 sponges here, and then this is my Flower Beauty sponge that I haven't opened yet. So I'm excited to start using that one day, but until then I'm just going to keep to these. Alright guys, this wraps up this part of the video, and I hope you will stick around for the next few videos where I keep on decluttering. Hope you will stick around for Declutter Week and keep on watching me get rid of crap. Please give this a thumbs up. You can comment and share if you like. Also, if you want to follow me on Snapchat or Twitter or Instagram, my handle is reddancer17. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye! So, yeah. So, it's funny to see this movie. I keep saying movie.